Hello, everybody. My apologies if I sound a little bit stuffy today. I started feeling sick on Saturday, and it really sucks because I wanted to wake up and make a video on Sunday. If you haven't noticed, I've been trying to stick to a schedule recently. I've been trying to upload every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But Saturday, I got hit with, I think I had the flu or something. I was a mess, and, no, I got tested. Don't have COVID. But yeah, I was really pissed off that I couldn't make a video on Sunday. I literally was just sleeping all day. I was trying to get rid of this cold. I'm feeling a lot better today. So yeah, anyway guys, I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin today, checking out some higher time frames, checking out the bull market support band, which are these moving averages right here, and just seeing how I think Bitcoin is looking. So first off, I want to make comparisons between these two moves right here. This first move from the pretty much bottom of the mini bear market that we had. You see we had a very explosive move at first, and as the move went on, it started to fold over. You can see bearish divergences forming on the daily, so it was pretty clear that we were probably going to have to get a retracement at some point. Then when you look over to this most recent move right here, it is basically the exact same thing. We had very explosive moves at first. Price action started to fold over. You could see not as clear, but minor bearish divergences here. This momentum wave was a little bit smaller than this one, and so that kind of called for a correction. Now, I've talked about these two moving averages a few times already. I could make a video going a little bit more in depth on these moving averages and showing you all the times that it has supported a bull market. But if you want to learn about it now, I suggest you go look at Benjamin Cowan's channel, because that's where I'm getting this from. And these moving averages are extremely significant. If you just go back and look, the 2017 bull run, we held these moving averages going up the entire bull run with systematic tests of it. So we got a little bit extended from it, we came back and tested it. Got extended, came back and tested it. That is why it is called the bull market support band, because typically once we break down below it and start finding resistance on it, that signifies the end of the bull market. And ideally, what we want to see when Bitcoin gets a retracement, especially early on as it's trying to build up momentum, it's not necessarily early on in the bull run, but since we had a break of the bull market support band, we found a little bit of resistance and then broke back above it. We're trying to build this momentum back. We're not really running off the momentum that we had earlier in the year anymore. We are trying to build new momentum here. And so ideally, what we want to see when we get retracements like this is a test of the bull market support band. Maybe hold it for a few days like we did back here, and then get a sharp bounce off of it. And if you zoom in, you can see we actually just missed this 21-day EMA, and we just missed this significant support resistance line that we rejected off of in this first move back here. And we also found support on this line over here a few times, like on this wick right here. And we were actually only about 1% or less away from testing these levels, but we got a bounce anyway, and we are now sitting well above that level. I'm actually going to go back to the daily time frame to show this. What this drop kind of reminds me of is this first drop that we had off the previous move. You can see as momentum was dying off, we got rejected somewhere, we came down and just touched the top of this green line, the 21-week EMA, and we kind of bounced around on it for a little bit. We had a little fake out pump, and then we dumped down to the lower band of the bull market support band, or the 20-week SMA. We held in this area for a few days, and then we had a sharp bounce off of it. So this over here kind of looks similar. We had dying momentum, we came down, it took us a little bit longer, it wasn't as quick of a drop as this one back here, but we just barely missed the top of this 21-week EMA. We had a bounce off of it. Maybe now we bounce around here for a little bit, maybe come down, actually end up testing the top of this line, before we get a little fake out pump, and then maybe we come back down to the lower band. Now, there are a few other reasons why I think this might happen other than it just kind of looks like this over here, and that is because of the bearish divergences on the weekly time frame that we are seeing. I've seen some people in the Market Cipher Discord talk about these bearish divergences, talking about how we might need to see a month or two long downtrend before we can get these weekly divergences cleared up. I think that is definitely possible, but what that would mean is we would either have to hold this bull market support band, just keep testing it for a few months before we get a pump up, or we'd have to break down below the bull market support band and then eventually be able to get back above it before moving higher. That is, if we were to have a 1 to 2 month downtrend. Now, there is also a possibility that this weekly time frame turns around. This momentum wave has a massive pump up to above these levels back here as to cancel out the bullish divergences, and Bitcoin just absolutely goes parabolic. But with the sort of lack of strength that I'm seeing and how much we're kind of struggling to build up momentum right here, I mean, I wouldn't say struggling, but for Bitcoin, especially towards the end of a bull run, we are kind of struggling a little bit, it seems like. So I don't know how likely that is to happen. But then again, anything can happen. And one more thing I want to point out on the daily time frame is we do actually have a hidden bullish divergence here, so long as we don't absolutely dump past these previous lows. Then we have a higher low in price action with a lower low in the momentum waves on the daily time frame, which is a little bit of bullish news if you were rooting for Bitcoin not to go on a 1 to 2 month downtrend. Then that is one good sign for you. So for me, best case scenario is maybe we do end up getting a little fake out pump here, and then we end up coming back down to test the bull market support band once again. And maybe that takes a month, on the daily time frame. If this were to play out exactly, this would be the end of December, about a month away. Maybe we hold it for a little bit and then go on to continue higher. That, in my opinion, would look very healthy for Bitcoin. Another one is maybe we just kind of hug the bull market support band, maybe just coming up from it, coming back down. Maybe we don't see much price action from Bitcoin at all. Maybe we just kind of sit in an accumulation area for a little bit before we end up going higher. That's another possible scenario. And I guess the third would be we get a little pump up, we come back down, test the bull market support band fully, and then we get an absolute pump again, go on to set higher highs, and that is able to turn this weekly time frame around. We get a higher momentum wave here, and no more bearish divergences. That is a possible scenario, but in my opinion, I think scenario 1 and 2 are probably a bit more likely. So in my mind, we have basically confirmed that lengthening cycles are a thing, that they are going to continue, even though we have not set a new all-time high since the cycle has lengthened, which means it hasn't officially lengthened yet, because if 69K was the top, then that would be just a little bit shorter than last bull cycle, I believe. But if we are able to put in a new all-time high, then the cycle has officially lengthened. So yeah, in my mind, I think it is pretty much guaranteed, because if this were the end of the Bitcoin cycle, we wouldn't be seeing Bitcoin hold the bull market support band twice now. This is the kind of price action we see when Bitcoin is trying to build up momentum for a big move, is systematic tests of the bull market support band, higher highs, higher lows. I would be extremely surprised if this was the top and we broke back down below the bull market support band and entered a bear market. That would absolutely surprise me. If we ended the Bitcoin bull cycle with a massive distribution phase, and if we had a double top cycle, that would be extremely surprising to not only me, it would probably be more surprising to people who have been in this market for a long time. Just from what I've learned in my time being here, this is not what Bitcoin looks like when we are entering a bear market. So I believe that lengthening cycles is a thing. I believe the average that the cycles have lengthened each time is about a year. So maybe we see this thing extend out another 8 months or so. Maybe we see a much longer cycle than some people even think. And if that is the case, then maybe it takes us a while of systematic tests of the bull market support band to eventually get there. Alright guys, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you all think about this theory. Do you guys think this was a double top cycle? Or do you think lengthening cycles are going to end up playing out? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. Thank you everybody for watching. I will see you in my next video. Peace out everybody.